Good morning, viewers and listeners of Concerned Citizens Media. Welcome back and nice to have you here. So, as usual, I have some news to read to you, then some videos to share at the end of the reading. Thank you again. Let's get started. Here are the news and the Concerned Citizens Media comments for March 11, 2021. Ethio-Sudan tension continues. Sudan sent its defense force to Benishangul-Gumuz region area. Sudan accused Ethiopia supporting the Sudan opposition group, but Foreign Ministry spokesperson Dina Mufti denied this Sudanese claim by saying Ethiopia has no interference policy. This Sudanese military move to the Benishangul-Gumuz region is a threat to Ethiopia's hydro dam project, which is located in this zone. So that's, accusing each other now. Sudanese accused Ethiopia arming the opposition group. So Ethiopia is denying. It's also suspicious, like last time, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed and Isaias Afwerki visited South Sudan, Juba. It was not known why they visited that small country. So it's suspicious activities. And so Sudan is now moving its military close to the hydro dam project area. So we're going to follow and report to you. Oromo Liberation Front, OLF, blamed for 2 attacks in Oromia region, Ethiopia. Several media blamed Oromo Liberation Front fighters for the lives lost in Wallagga and the Guji zone. According to various media reports, OLF fighters carried out a surprise attack on Monday, March 8, 2021 in Amaro district of South Ethiopia and in Guji zone of Oromia region, and killed 8 people. The attack was carried out while the residents were holding a peace and reconciliation meeting with district level leaders and elders, according to the report. Prosperity Party's Amaro district office head Dagnacho Ichala was among those killed in this attack. OLF gunmen, or Onek Shane as the authority in Ethiopia called them, also accused of carrying out another attack on Saturday, March 6, 2021 in Horro Guduru, Jarete district in Wallagga, Oromia, and killed 29 civilians while they were attending traditional church ceremony. This report claims that those killed were ethnic Amaras. Hundreds also left their residency to save themselves from similar attacks and asking for government's immediate actions for their dire condition. Oromo Liberation Front denied involving in these attacks. So they denied. They say we didn't do it. So, but various media, various Avesha media claiming that it is done by OLF. So OLF say no, it has nothing to do with me. Such reports could be used to create fear and instability in these regions, and also can be used as excuse to crack down further on Oromos who have been already suffering under the command posts for more than 2 years. Such reports can also be used to get the ethnic Amaras support for Abiy Ahmed's agenda, which is governing Ethiopia through fear and terror. So the government can play with it. They can do something about it, then they blame OLF so they can get the Amara support. They have it, but they want to keep that fear and terror so they can continuously get the Amara support. That's the only way they can survive this time. They don't have the Oromo support, they don't have the Tigrayan support, they don't have the others. So Amara and Abiy are now hand in hand. So the Prosperity Party in Oromia, they can play a game, instigate attack against the Amaras by their, who knows, then blame OLF so they can galvanize the Amara support for their causes. Abiy Ahmed and his supporters surrendered to the global pressures. They start inviting independent global media, African Human Rights Commission, United Nations, and European unions to enter Tigray region and investigate the concerns. This is a pivotal victory for peace-loving nations who have been calling for independent investigation for the war crimes, genocides, and crime against humanity committed in the Tigray region. If these invitations are honored, they will provide the opportunity to hold all the criminals who have blood in their hands in this conflict. So the update on this one is some like different ambassadors from Africa, EU, and other countries. Today they try to visit Mekelle, and you know, the people staged a protest by staying home, shutting down the business. They express their displeasure with what's happening on them in Mekelle and Tigray region. So they stay home, they shut the business, they shut the transportation to oppose Abiy Ahmed and his guests from different countries to visit them. So Abiy Ahmed and his supporters try to show his peace. It's nothing going on in Mekelle. So the people, they don't want to show up for this visit. They stay home as a protest. That's the update. Ethiopia continue lying to Ethiopians and to the global community. The country's authorities are attempting to alter the country's bad image on the global stage by fabricating lies instead of re-examining its conduct and make improvement on the ground. This time, the country used its English language publication, national newspaper, the Ethiopian Herald, to spread lies about the United States-based international aid agency. The country's newspaper reported that the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, visited the Tigray region and found nothing about the mass graves and other concerns mentioned by various media outlets and international organizations. So the government of Ethiopia used its national newspaper, the Ethiopian Herald, the English language newspaper, claiming USAID visited Tigray, Aksum, and other areas and reported, nothing happened. Nothing happened. No mass grave, no other violations. The newspaper claimed, but the agency say, they didn't go to Mekelle. According to the USAID Twitter message, this report in the Ethiopian Herald is a big lie. The agency said it is personal, never visited the Tigray region, and reported about the various grave human rights violations happening over there. This agency, just like other international organizations, called for independent investigation for the violation reported in the Tigray cities, towns, and other areas. So this is a big lie, but they don't care. They just lying is just part of their diplomacy now these days. So by lying, they try to change the global image about the country. That's bad. The agency already caught them. How the government media, big media, report such kind of thing. Informing the global community, lying to Ethiopians, something that didn't happen. Something can be proved. So I think USAID should sue the Ethiopian Herald for using its name to create fake news and for misleading Ethiopians and the global community about something this agency didn't carry out in Tigray. I don't know this American agency cares, but as a concerned citizens media, they should care. They should sue the Ethiopian Herald for spreading false news by using their name, something that the agency didn't do. So that's a big lie. The evidence is the publication itself. If the USAID decide to take action against this newspaper and its editorial board, this is a huge fake news. So they should be accountable, I think so. But the USAID already released a statement to clarify it, but they don't want to challenge. Maybe they should be challenged. If we don't challenge them, they keep lying to the global community and lying to Ethiopians. So they should be accountable for that. Ethiopia's grade 12 national examinations answer keys are stolen. Answer keys plus the examinations are stolen and out on the telegraph for students to copy them. The individuals claim to be Qeerroos and Qarrees from the Oromia posted these answers on Telegram for all to see and use them to answer their course exams. Free Johar Muhammad message also appeared with these released answer sheets for all academic courses. Such similar situation happened during the TPLF-dominated Ethiopia. This is a huge failure on the Ethiopian government. The government failed miserably by not securing this very important national examination in the country. All the country's investment in preparing the examination for students and the student, their parents, their instructors, and administrators' effort for passing such exams are null. Null now. Nobody knows who these Qeerroos and Qarrees are and how they got their hands on this highly guarded examination and its answer keys. So it is a huge development. It is supposed to be secured. So they didn't secure it. It's a national examination. The students take this, then they go to universities. So now they have to redo it. It's another expense on the country and another time wasting for students and for the parents too. It's a huge failure on the part of the government in many different fronts, parts. You know, security, securing examination, global image, in many fronts. That's why concerned citizens media called on them, especially Abiy Ahmed and his very close associates, to resign for their failure in that country. They are not bringing unity. They are not bringing stability. They are not bringing peace in that country. All we see is too much trouble in many fronts. Pro-Abiy Ahmed and pro-war crime, genocide, and pro-crimes against humanity marchers marched today in Washington, D.C. Protesters denounced the United States for speaking up for victims of war crimes, genocide, and crimes against humanity in the Tigray regions. So they blame the United States. They blame the United States for speaking up for victims of war crimes, genocides, and the crimes against humanity. This group, Abiy supporters. These protesters attempted to shame the United States by chanting slogans like USA, stop supporting terrorists. This is a huge claim. They say USA, stop supporting terrorists. They are free to express their supports for Abiy Ahmed, Isaias Afwerki, and their brutal policies. However, accusing the United States of its stand for independent investigation for grave human rights violations reported in the Tigray region is beyond the comprehension. This is a comment from concerned citizens media. So accusing the United States like supporting terrorists, this is too far according to the concerned citizens media. They can support Abiy Ahmed. They can stand with the dictator in Eritrea. You know, they can support what the genocide going on. You know, the killing, the torture, the rape. They can support. Could be free. You know, freedom of speech. You know, that doesn't mean they are right. They are not on the right track. The protesters also demanded the United States give the blessing and its recognition for the upcoming Ethiopia's undemocratic national election. their so they ask the United States, demand the United States recognize this upcoming election, which is most probably will be won by Prosperity Party and Dr. Guy, and no representation from Oromia, because no Oromo political parties participate, because all of them in jail, their office is closed. So Oromia is without representation for this upcoming election. Oromo Prosperity Party is a different thing. That's the old OPDO. That's old OPDO. And they are not truly representing the Oromo's interest. Never. Never. They are sons of junta. They are not different from junta. So these protesters also called for Dr. Adhanom, the World Health Organization director, to leave his position. You know, that's their dream, because they want to put their own person, maybe their own person over there. They are targeting the Tigrayans. They are not targeting the TPLF. They are targeting the Tigrayans, according to so many different news. So many different news coming from Ethiopia. They are preventing the Tigrayans leaving the country at the airport. They are targeting the Tigrayans in Addis Ababa, different areas, just because of their ethnicity, not because they have something to do with TPLF. So their protest will continue in New York today. They want to shout at the United Nations, and they're going to blame the United Nations also for speaking up for human rights violations and other grave violations. Myanmar protesters got support from business owners. Business owners in Myanmar joined anti-military movement by boycotting products related to the military regime. We don't sell any beer produced by the military or any of its joint venture partners, said Tao Zin, who runs a rooftop restaurant in the city. We will not purchase or sell products with military money because we don't want to be an accessory to a murderous regime. Murderous regime. No one who wants democracy should buy military-owned products or services. This is a protester who is participating against military. Doctors, teachers, lawyers, and other civil servants already joined anti-military protest just from the beginning of the military takeover in Myanmar. So they have good chance, but still the military is using force, even live ammunitions. Killing is happening, bloodshed is happening on the street of Myanmar. Dictators don't listen to the pressure, but it will not be easy. It will not be easy. They try to silence them with a gun. It's just like what is happening in Oromia and other areas. Those who own the gun, they will do everything to prevent the public from expressing their opinion, challenging the government. They can cheat the election. They can take over the election. So that is happening in Myanmar, but Myanmar is inclusive. inclusive. Doctors, lawyers, merchants, students, farmers, all joined except the military. The military is one side, the civilians on the other side. The difference is who has a gun for now. Who has a gun for now. So the international pressure is there, but it may take time. I hope the military will give up its position for the sake of that country, for the sake of democracy. So peace and stability for that country. They can share power. Why they become greedy, all unnecessary. Okay, that's the reading part. Now I will go to the video part. First, I will share a video on Zahabesha, but it is about Ethiopia. Secretary of Tony Blinken talking to, or briefing the Congress about Ethiopia. And this video is long. This part plus the demonstration, the protesters in Washington D.C. I don't want to show you that one. Maybe, it's not appropriate for concerned citizens media, because these people support the killing, the torture, the jailing of Oromos, the genocide, the war crime happening in Tigray. So I don't want to show this, but I just want to show you just short video from Tony Blinken talking to or briefing the Congress, Foreign Relations Committee. Okay, let's see. This is just short one. I can hold it.
With us in a dialogue. So I hope to get through 3 quick questions. Great. My next question is, what role do you see the U.S. playing in assisting in the negotiation process regarding the GERD, the Great Dam in Ethiopia, and then maybe you can also comment about the situation in Ethiopia after that question.
Well, with regard to the GERD, we want to do everything we can to facilitate the countries concerned coming together and finding a way forward that meets their interests and avoids conflict. And I think we can use our good offices to help do that. So that's the way we're approaching it. The challenge in Ethiopia is very significant, and it's one that we're very focused on. Particularly the situation in Tigray, where we are seeing very credible reports of human rights abuses and atrocities that are ongoing. And I've been on the phone on several occasions now with Prime Minister Abiy of Ethiopia. I've talked to other leaders in the region and on the continent and beyond. I very much understand the concerns, for example, that the Prime Minister had about the TPLF and its actions, but the situation in Tigray today is unacceptable and has to change. And that means a few things. It means making sure that we're getting into the region, into Tigray, aid workers and others, humanitarian assistance, to make sure that the people are cared for, provided for, and protected. And it's very important that the government follow through on commitments that it's made.
Do you envision peacekeepers?
At this point, we have 2 other challenges that go to the security piece. One is we have, as you know, forces from Eritrea that are there, and we have forces from an adjoining region, Amara, that are there. They need to come out, and a force that will not abuse the human rights of the people of Tigray or commit acts of ethnic cleansing, which we've seen in western Tigray, that has to stop. We also need full accountability. We need to get an independent investigation into what took place there, and we need some kind of process, a reconciliation process, so that the country can move forward politically. Prime Minister Abiy was an inspiring leader who won the Nobel Peace Prize. Now he needs to step up and make sure that his own people in Tigray are getting the protections that they need and deserve.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, that's it's like what, 7-8 hours ago. This is new one, the same position, nothing changed. They want a independent investigation. They want the humanitarian aid to reach the Tigrayans. They want reconciliation between all citizens instead of using hate propagandas, instead of using military. The United States support reconciliation going forward among all the citizens. He encouraging Abiy Ahmed, the Nobel Peace Laureate, supposed to be like that, but he is a dictator now because he is learning from Isaias Afwerki. He's a dictator, another dictator. So that is the current is briefing to the foreign relations. This time the United States don't want to deal with don't have plan to send UN peacekeeping, but he demanded Eritrean soldiers out, the Amara militia out from that region. So the demand is still the same. Nothing changed, even though those Abiy Ahmed supporters shouting, dancing on the street of Washington to divert the attention, supporting Abiy whatever he's doing. That is a wrong way. That is a wrong way, for now they are looking only for their interest. Their interest is wider Amara region, controlling Ethiopia under prosperity name, subjecting others for operations, crashing, creating the Amara empire. That is their dream. I told you last time they have, established a big Amara bank. If they are talking about Ethiopia, why are they talking about Amara bank? They're supposed to establish something in Amara name and in Ethiopia name. So Ethiopia is a cover-up. Is a cover-up. But the agenda is their extensive power, taking the land they claim from Tigray, crushing, eliminating the Tigrayans, crushing the Oromos, putting the Oromos in jail, make them starve. That is their dream. Then they will be the dominant figure for many, many years. That's their dream, but I don't think they will be successful. So we got a huge challenge. The country is divided. The country is divided. One group is supporting genocide, war crime, crimes against humanity, rape, all this, Oromos suffering, Oromos starving, Oromos under command post, Benishangul under command post. This is the challenge. The people cannot come together. Just like Oromo soccer, the Ethiopian soccer. You can't, unless you bring the group, the whole citizens, through reconciliation, through dialogue, come closer, there is no future for that country, because they are huge group you know, try to intimidate others, showing support for the crimes, for the atrocities, for election which is not fair and free, anti-democratic election, they support, because this is the time for them, as they said. This is the time. Okay, let's go to the other videos and finish up. So let's see. For that one, I'm gonna put on this holder because I can hold it myself. You can hold it.
No one believes in an Asian basketball player. But if we beat Monk, nor the police dressed in.
Okay, let me see. Still, I have shot one of these two. Okay. You can see. There we go. Now it's gonna be good. There we go.
There he is, released on bail. Ousmane Sonko addresses the nation in this press conference. By his side are leading figures of Senegal's opposition.
The people are sending us politicians a message. No matter our convictions or beliefs, we have a responsibility to unite, reassure, and bring back politics to its noble cause, representing the people.
Several people died and scores were injured after he was arrested over rape charges. His supporters believe the case is politically motivated. The presence of the military did not deter demonstrators, nor did the tear gas, nor the police dressed in civilian clothes, wielding baseball bats. Restricting the internet too did not stop the hashtag Free Senegal from trending. Hundreds, if not thousands of people are gathering here, still defying the security forces who are firing tear gas. There's a sense among supporters of Ousmane Sonko that with the end of his detention, it's a victory for them and a reminder to the government that they're accountable not to big businesses and corporations, but to the people. Demonstrators looted supermarkets, accusing President Macky Sall of failing the country's poor by protecting big business interests. After days of protests, he finally addressed the nation, realizing that the demonstrations were not just about Ousmane Sonko, but about many Senegalese feeling disenfranchised.
That a generation faced with so many hardships expresses its unhappiness is quite understandable to me. At the same time, let's avoid participating in anything that delays us in the quest for a better future. When you ransack a business, when you attack the goods of others, you don't create jobs, you destroy them. You don't reduce poverty, you make it worse.
The president extended the coronavirus curfew until midnight to allow small shop owners longer business hours. But for many, the protests are not just about the economic crisis or politics, but about defending Senegal's long-standing tradition of democracy and freedom, values, protesters say, are worth fighting for. Nicholas Hawk, Al Jazeera, Dakar.
OLA, Oromo Liberation Army, has shared 3 videos in which OLA fighters can be seen interacting with local people. I'll show you these videos. But before that, in the videos, OLA fighters can be seen talking to people, having fun with them. It looks like these are community events, and
Locals seem very comfortable in the presence of OLF fighters. The videos indicate that it's not that OLF fighters are in mountains and forests. Rather, they are in control of some areas in Oromia, especially rural areas of Oromia. Because location of these videos is still unclear, viewers. Secondly, viewers, Oromia state authorities are claiming that at least 8 persons have been killed in an attack by OLA fighters in Amaro Wareda near Oromia state. Now watch the 3 videos shared by OLA fighters. In the videos, OLA fighters can be seen talking to local people. Thank you for watching.
Ati dhaluuf dhalchuu yookaan eerumuu fi fuudha yoo dhiifte waraanni bilisummaa Oromoo ni bada. Kanama Eelo mee gara kana dinatti kottu mee uummata keessan jira. Ilaala basirbaa kana
That's a big celebration, but still I didn't get the location. It looks like it's a new video.
Did you know that you can make money from YouTube without creating videos? That's right, you can use other people.
Last night, Al Arabiya news channel reported that Sudan had deployed its troops along Benishangul Gumuz state of Ethiopia. Al Arabiya, some Sudanese news sources and some other sources have confirmed this development, viewers, that Sudan is deploying its troops in Blue Nile state of Sudan, which shares border with Ethiopia. What is the purpose of this deployment? Yesterday I informed you about a claim made by Sudanese sources that Ethiopia was providing weapons and logistical support to a rebel group in Blue Nile state of Sudan. Sudanese officials are saying that they are deploying these troops to stop cross-border support being given by Ethiopia to rebel factions in Blue Nile state. But we know, viewers, that Ethiopia, Egypt and Sudan are locked into a dispute over the construction of a dam by Ethiopia in Benishangul Gumuz state. Since 2011, Ethiopia has been building this dam, and Ethiopia is due to start the second filling of this dam in the coming months. Egypt and Sudan have issued messages, they have given warnings, they have warned Ethiopia against starting the second filling of this dam, viewers. 2 days ago, Al-Sisi, Egyptian president, was in Khartoum, Sudan, and Sisi and Al-Burhan, head of Sudanese Sovereignty Council, issued a joint statement. Some analysts are claiming, viewers, that this Sudanese deployment of troops along Benishangul Gumuz state of Ethiopia is another message given by Sudan to Ethiopia against starting the second filling of GERD. And if Ethiopia decided to start the second filling of GERD, we might see Sudanese forces enter Benishangul Gumuz state to stop Ethiopia from the second filling of GERD. Coming months are very important, viewers. Sudan and Egypt have teamed up to warn Ethiopia against the second filling of GERD.
I appreciate this guy. You follow about Ethiopia.
Our grandmothers, they always tell us you have to get up before the sunrise. You have to run.
Michel Gbagbo, son of former Ivorian President Laurent Gbagbo, savors a win over a sitting cabinet minister. His supporters are ecstatic about the victory.
Ivory Coast.
Aware of the tensions in the land, Michel, one of the new faces in parliament, says it's time the country heals.
We are going to work on reconciliation and the return of Ivorians in exile, including my father. That way, democracy in our country will be strengthened.
The reassuring words for citizens who feared the worst. The opposition had hoped for better results, but given it boycotted last year's presidential election, some observers say the coalition performed better than expected.
Under the law, anyone not satisfied with the provisional results can go to the court in the next 72 hours.
The result of the election gives President Alassane Ouattara and the ruling RHDP party total dominance over Ivory Coast politics.
The opposition PDCI is a minor league party that's ethnic-based. It lacks national spread. As for us, it's clear. We've won the parliamentary majority we set out to achieve.
Election observers call the process transparent, despite incidents recorded in some parts of the country.
This is a really minor issue compared to the whole nation. That can affect, the credibility of this election.
Claims and counterclaims of victory by the leading political parties nearly plunged the country into another round of violence.
Businesses here in the economic capital Abidjan remain open during and after the announcement. Many here say the country is pulled back from the brink of another round of post-election violence. But they also warn what political leaders say or do in the next few days will determine what happens next.
The results will now go to the Constitutional Court to decide in 3 days, either to reject or validate the outcome. Ahmed Idris, Al Jazeera, Abidjan.
Okay, that's it. That is the last part. Okay, thank you again for taking the time and listening to Concerned Citizens Media. The one thing I am surprised about is about the Senegalese protesters. That is, they forced the government to release their leader within less than a week. Within less than a week, his name was what was his name? I forget. I think Usman Seko. So the government tried to destroy his name, arrested him, claiming he raped some woman. This is a common thing. When the government try to blame you, they will find something like rape or some kind of corruption, mostly rape. So they arrested him, but the massive movement in Senegal forced the government to release him. And so we can learn something from this. Why the Oromos cannot force the government to release all these prisoners suffering in Oromia? What is the reason? That means peaceful protest is not working. That was the indication, because these protesters in Senegal, They looted the business, they burned the business, they created chaos on the streets, you know, so they make life miserable over there. Sometimes you got to check your strategy. I know if it happened, it's okay through peaceful, through, you know, begging, through, you know, just saying slogans, free Johar Mohammed, free Bakala Garba, and going home. Is it working? We have to answer ourselves. So that's why I can see the difference between Senegalese for one person, not too many politicians, only one politician accused of raping and jailed. Within less than a week, they forced the government to release him. So this is a question for our resistance, for our Oromos. What we have to do. Abiy is not listening. Abiy is using force. Yes, the Senegal is also using force. They are using the police, they are using the military. Still, the protesters refuse to go back. Even after he was released, still continue their protest. Even their election is like 2024. But the government tried to crash him ahead of time. So that's why we have to examine our strategy and what we can do to make these people listen to our concerns. What we have to do. Yes, the global community is playing its part, but domestics, people living back home, how they can, you know, help Johar Mohammed, Bakala Garba, Hamza Borna, and others, thousands Oromos, from coming out from, you know, from jail. They are suffering, and no justice, no justice, and the justice is heavy too. Some of them during Hajalu time, you know, protests, they accused them. The court gave them like 30 years, 15 years. That's, I don't think that's a justice. That's not. That's like a threatening. That's like intimidating to others. If you come out, yes, you will get 30 years. Yeah. That's a silencing. It's like a gun. So keep in mind, our people are in jail in thousands. Our leaders are in jail. Offices are closed. So Qeerroos and Qarrees and all Oromos, doctors, businessmen, teachers, politicians, lawyers, farmers, you get to question yourself. Don't leave the movement only to Qarrees and Qeeroos. That strategy is not working, and the peaceful strategies also is not working. It helped to get attention, the global attention, but we are not seeing the profit. We are not seeing our politicians out of jail. So we need to be aggressive. We need to be aggressive. We need to change our strategy, just like Senegalese. So it's a long presentation because the topics, we have so many issues to cover. So thank you again for coming back to Concerned Citizens Media, for sharing, commenting, and subscribing. so we can grow together, so we can be the voice for the voiceless, so we can stand for freedom, justice, equality. We are not standing for genocide. We are not standing for war criminals. We are not standing for them. We are advocating for reconciliation, dialogue in that country. That country is I think, is finished. I think, as I see how the Amaras are acting, they are, people scared of them now. They are different. If you watch different videos coming out of that country, this is scary, man. How can, you live with these people? These people, they talk bad. They talk about eliminating the Tigrayans, not the TPLF. So it's very serious. The country needs reconciliation, not election. The country needs dialogue between the people. It's not holding about this fake election and controlling the power for the next 5 years. You can do it, yes, but doesn't help us to strengthen that country, to strengthen the unity among ourselves. Thank you again. That is enough for today. So long, everyone. See you next time.